What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla's SPY in the overall market. I'm also going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar and how this is going to be affecting things as time goes on. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon in just about a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the markets. So, my expectation for the market was correct about how SPY, the QQQ, and many other tickers had some upside potential. If you look at Nvda, Google, Amazon, we're seeing the market pumping so far, holding up quite well. However, Tesla came a little bit short of my expectation. I was hoping for the mid to higher 350s. We came short of that. We're only at about 352 right now. And Tesla's chopping around at least for the time being. So at this point, the market's now just consolidating a bit. It is technically in a big range, but we are seeing the upper ends of the ranges being met. And we're now just waiting for Jerome Powell, the big guy, to give his speech at what excuse me, at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be opening his mouth. And you guys know whenever this guy starts speaking, the market's going to make some crazy moves. If he is very, very fixated on us getting a 25 basis point cut, if he remains more dovish, the market could rally very, very nicely. It depends on his tonality and factors like that. If the guy is very ambiguous, he does not give us the information we want to hear, and he keeps on saying the Fed has to be very patient or that they're not in a rush to like cut rates. If he says something like that, like what he said last time, the market could also get a rug pull. So he's going to give us more insights on what's going on with the Fed's policy. He's going to be talking about potentially what could be happening in 2025. And then also for the next FOMC meeting, which is about 2 weeks from now exactly, he'll be giving us more insights on if the Fed is looking to give us another cut. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning is that the last couple of Fed speakers that came out over the last couple of days were in favor of a 25 basis point cut. So that's, if Jerome Powell holds that same tonality, that would be bullish for the markets. If not, things could shift. And this article right here also talks about this right here about how if Powell is more dovish, that could weaken the US dollar and help the market push. And then the same thing would happen, or at least vice versa, it would happen if he's like more hawkish. So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the charts. Tesla's looking very nice, at least in terms of holding its support, is doing a good job. But the issue with Tesla is that we're not really getting that breakout quite yet. So there is a cup and handle like structure. And then you could also kind of like point out this, how we also happen to have a very, very nice structure right here. You could draw out this trend line acting as our support from right here. And this still shows that Tesla's on an uptrend, and we could be forming a nice bullish wedge right now. So there's potential in that. But closing these indicators, just know this: Tesla's doing a good job at holding above its EMAs. It dipped today towards its 20 EMA at 348, and then it just got bought back up. So it's holding up very, very well. If Powell gives us the pump at 1:45 p.m., we want to see Tesla break the high of the day. And if that's the case, we could actually get closer to 360. If we manage to break the 360s, this cup and handle like structure, excuse me, it could play out, and we could be looking for Tesla to push into the 375 area. If Powell gives us the rug pull and we end up losing 348, expect this gap to get filled at 345, and we could even dump lower down to about 340. So Tesla could go either way, but as of right now, what I can say is we're holding support very nicely, and we're now just range bound between 350 and about 354. We're going to likely remain range bound until we hear what Jerome Powell has to say, so be very patient with this, but just know that overall it's doing a good job. Now, for other tickers such as SPY, we look bullish on SPY. We're testing resistance near 606.5 or very close to that area. If we manage to break past that area, 607.5 is going to be my next target. I think that SPY is very tight in terms of its resistances, but it's doing a good job so far at holding up, and it has potential to break out higher. If Jerome Powell gives us a breakout, if he pumps the market very nicely during his speech, we want to see this thing break past 607.5. If that breaks, we could get very close to 610. So it could be a big pump to 610 if Powell pumps us. If Powell gives us the rug pull, we could be coming back down to fill this gap. We're looking for essentially 604 as the support. If that fails us, we have 602.25 coming next. So overall, SPY is bullish for now. It's holding up very, very well, but whether or not this move continues is going to depend on the big guy, what he ends up saying. So be patient and get ready for Powell's speech. For ES, we're more bullish in terms of our trend. We could be looking for 6,100 as our potential target if Jerome Powell pumps us. If Powell gives us the rug pull, you want to see us lose 6,072. If that fails us, we have 6,060, not to mention 6,050 as potential supports. So it could go either way, but as of right now, we do favor upside. We saw this dip on ES only to get bought back up. We're testing this resistance very close to 6,090, which if we break, we have 6,100 coming next. So it looks good so far, so we'll have to see how it goes. For other factors out there, we have Nvda, which looks more bullish right here. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders breakout. I was talking about how I could be looking for 143.5 in my video earlier. And we'll have to see if Nvidia could break that resistance. If we break that 143 to 144 area, our next target is to be the 146s. If we lose 140, we're looking for a dip, but overall, this looks more bullish and this has a lot more upside potential. For Bitcoin, we're range bound between 95 and about 96,000, going back and forth and back and forth. We'll have to see if 95,000 holds. Otherwise, this could be tipping lower. But so far, we're doing a great job. So watch that very closely. For other factors out there, we have NQ looking bullish. It hit my target of 21,500. If Powell launches this higher, we're looking for 21,600 plus. If Powell gives us the rug pull, you want to see this previous resistance becoming support. So around that's 21,300 zone. So right here, my cursor is, that's going to be the main support. If Powell causes a big rug pull, we have to lose this to turn bearish. Otherwise, look at that as the next main support. For the QQQ, we look more bullish overall, but there is one problem. We have a very tough resistance at 522. If we break out of the 522, so I'm looking for 524 as our next potential target. And if we get a rejection here, we're looking at 520 as our support, not to mention this gap down here at 518. And then we have this previous resistance becoming support as well at 516. So I'll be watching all these levels very, very closely just to see how things end up going. But just know this, it all depends on what Jerome Powell, the big guy, says. Apple pumped very nicely to 244. We called this out as resistance. The problem is we got a rejection, so we're looking at 242.5 as our support. If that fails us, I could be looking for a move back down to closer to 240. So just be careful with Apple. There's a risk of it dipping a little bit after it already pumped so much. So we'll have to see how things end up going with this, but it's at a very, very tough resistance. As predicted, MSTR hit my target of 368. I did call that out in my morning video to a T, and this is looking bearish as of right now. For the IWM Russell 2000, we are more bullish. We got a nice bounce so far. We have 242 as the main resistance. Now we're back in the range between 240 and 244. So I just think we remain range bound for now, not really doing much. So give it more time to develop. AMD is just range bound between 144 and 140. So I just think we're going to consolidate for some time, not really doing much. For Coinbase, we look a little bit more bullish. We're trying to uptrend here. Just know this: if we end up losing this support right here at 315, we're looking for essentially 307. And as long as we're above that, we could attempt to retest 320. I think we're just in a range right now, just like Bitcoin. Amazon pumped very nicely, hitting our target of 220, only to come back down. So we're going to be looking for 217.5 as support, not to mention 215. Otherwise, it's still bullish overall, of course, but could slow down a little bit. Meta pumped about 620. We mentioned that I was expecting a test of 608. I said that if 608 failed us, we're expecting 604. So we're very close to my target. Could dip a little bit more. We did reject there, so keep that in mind. Microsoft was looking bullish. It pumped about almost 440 only to come back down. Want to see if we could break past 437.5. Otherwise, it's just going to consolidate until Jerome Powell's speech. And last but not least, we have Google looking bullish. Came very close to our target of 176, but now volume is slowing down, so it might just be range bound, very close to this 175 area to shop. So be patient with this and give this some more time. Anyways, guys, that's it for my video. Tesla's going to chop around this 350 to 354 area for the time being. Not the end of the world, so don't worry too much about this, and we will see what the big guy has to say. Will Jerome Powell cause some kind of big pump in the markets, or is he going to cause a rug pull? We'll have to wait and see. Honestly, guys, I wish I was some kind of fortune teller and I could see a crystal ball and tell you guys all the answers, but I can't really do that. So that's the reason why you have to know that during times like these, you want to manage risks and be a lot more careful. With that being said, know what the risks are and do what you have to do. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Have a good rest of your guys' day and peace out.